Hey, Chicago's Humanities Festival is a time for leaders in art and culture to come together to discuss ideas and visions. This morning, we're getting a preview from Alison Cuddy from the Fest. Alison, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Jordan. It's great to be here.
Thank you very much. Well, can you give us a little bit of insight on the Fest and what we can expect?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Chicago Humanities Marathon. It's like 3 weekends, 2 weeks long, over 90 programs, over 150 speakers coming to the city to talk about some of the biggest trends, biggest ideas that are animating the world right now. So we have people as big as Al Gore, the former vice president. We're talking about hot weather, and he's all about climate change.
There you go.
But some really unexpected, smaller programs with really interesting people who are doing really cool stuff.
Alison, what gets you most excited about the Fest?
Well, I love the variety of it. We always have a theme, and this year the theme is belief. So we're all having kind of contests over what we believe, and why we believe what we do. And so it's exciting to bring so many different perspectives on that theme. So there'll be people talking about their faith and how they identify belief, but then there'll be people talking about trust. I mean, the big headline these days is like 10% of Americans believe in Congress and their ability to get anything done. So we'll be talking a lot about that.
Yeah, so you mentioned some of those topics. Now, it's also from fake news to transgendered rights. I mean, what are some of the other things, even sports, you guys are covering here?
Oh, yeah, we'll be talking about soccer, the beautiful game, and why it might be a form of diplomacy. But fake news is all over the festival this year. We have a great guy coming, Kevin Young, who has a new book out called Bunk. And it sort of takes a historical view of the American desire to have hoaxes or to play tricks on people. So he actually compares P.T. Barnum and current President Donald Trump and how they both came to power through their ability to create different kinds of scenarios. So he'll be taking us through that and looking at that.
So you mentioned Kevin Young there. Now there's also some other highlighted acts where are people speaking or books that they've written. Erika Sanchez, I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter is another book?
Yeah, so Erika is from Cicero, Illinois, so right in Chicago's backyard. She started out as a poet, and this is her first novel, and she is actually on the short list for the National Book Award, so she's doing incredibly well. And it tells the story of this young woman whose sister has died, and she's coping with the loss of her sister, but also with not being the perfect Mexican daughter. Her sister was sort of fulfilling all of the family's hopes and ambitions, and she's not. So it's a very sort of snarky voice. It's about loss and grief, but it's also about coming of age. So sort of a perfect story. We do a lot of programming with youth and family, and we're really excited to have Erika in the festival.
That's awesome. The next author, Danielle Allen, her book On Cuz.
Yeah, Danielle Allen wrote a book about, one of the things that we're exploring is the way the things we believe have an impact we can't always imagine when we set out. So our beliefs within the criminal justice system, like things like the 3 strikes laws or mandatory minimums. Danielle had a young cousin who was got arrested for carjacking and ended up being tried as an adult and sent to prison, and it just sort of set a real tragic course for his life. And so she is exploring how these beliefs about how to punish people affected her family and also African Americans in general. So it should be a really powerful program. We're doing that at Rockefeller Chapel in Hyde Park.
Awesome.
And so, that's one of the things that we try to do with the festival is take it all over the city. So we'll be in Hyde Park, we'll be at the South Shore Cultural Center.
So it's accessible for people all over.
Yeah, absolutely. Wherever you are, you can definitely come out and enjoy a program.
I love it. Well, great testimonies in the written form, but you also have somebody speaking, Brooke Gladstone, is that correct?
Yeah, Brooke Gladstone, another, so she hosts a show called On the Media, and she's been covering how the media works for about 30 years. She will be coming also to talk about fake news, but from a different perspective and its impact on democracy. So who can we trust? If we can't trust what we read in the newspaper or we hear on a television show, what effect does that have on our ability to be good citizens? And so we're really excited to bring people like Brooke, who have been around for a really long time and studying these things and can definitely give us a new perspective, and then welcome new people, someone like Erika Sanchez, who is a new and emerging writer, and that we hope that when people come to the festival, they have that opportunity to meet people that they might otherwise not and find out about things that they haven't thought about before.
Yeah, a new experience and a very enriching one, no doubt. Alison Cuddy, thank you
And
for
fun.
joining us. And fun, most importantly.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Thank you, Jordan.
Absolutely. Chicago Humanities Festival, it takes place October 28th through November 12th. It's a lot of time for you to get out there, and to do so, log on to chicagohumanities.org for all the information.